So, welcome everyone to our 7th Mission Action Day. Yes, energies. רמת החייל, תל אביב. My name is Hila. I'm from the Good Company team, together with Ido Fischler and Shachar Botzer. Thank you everyone for coming. Today we will hear from 9 startups that were carefully selected out of 120 applications globally as part of the mission that we're holding today. The Sustainable Consumption and Production mission is really about how we manufacture, how we deliver, how we use, how we reuse, resell, and return products. And we want basically to change the existing systems and find new ways, new technologies, new approaches, and new materials to do so. So the 9 startups you're going to hear today have an amazing technology and teams who are going to deliver these solutions. So at this moment, I want to thank our partners and sponsors for this event, KPMG Israel, BCLP, and Polim High Tech. And now I would also want to welcome Gabi, the manager of CityZone, our wonderful host for this event.
Hi everyone, good morning. I don't want to take too much of your time. So first of all, welcome to CityZone. My name is Gabi, I'm Managing Director of CityZone. I just want to spend the next very few minutes to tell you about this place. What is it? Why is it related to everything Good Company also does? So CityZone is a joint venture between the Tel Aviv-Yafo Municipality, Tel Aviv University, and Atidim Park Tel Aviv, which is where we are located now. This is not Ramat HaChayal, this is Atidim Park. I don't know if it makes a lot of difference for all of you, but just for you to be aware. And we are Tel Aviv Smart City Urban Tech Open Innovation Program. So first of all, know that Atidim Park is the city's beta site for technologies. When the city wants to test and evaluate new technologies before implementation throughout the city, this is the first place where they come. So for sensors, different communication equipment, cameras, autonomous vehicles, and stuff like that, this is a testing ground. So we have like a mini city here, a few buildings, underground infrastructure, sewage and water pipes and street lighting, and 10,000 people come here every day, and a few thousand cars and EV chargers and a bus terminal and bicycles and shared scooters and cafes and restaurants and a hospital and a dentist and a grocery store and everything. It's just like a mini city, and this enables us to really test and evaluate technologies in a real life environment. There is no other place in Tel Aviv where a company can go downstairs to the street and install a device on a street light post and connect it to electricity. This is something that's granted here. So this is also part of the value proposition to startups coming for our Open Innovation Program. We get requests and needs and challenges from the municipalities' different departments across all domains of activities of a local government. Transportation and mobility and education and the environment and energy and climate change and social services and welfare and cleanliness and sanitation of the city and security and cybersecurity, everything a city needs. They come to us with their different needs, things that they cannot solve with off-the-shelf products, and things that they cannot solve with in-house development. Tel Aviv Municipality has an R&D division of over 400 people building, writing code and building software and doing things internally, but sometimes they do lack the relevant expertise or resources to do things on their own. And this is when they come to us, and we find relevant startups to help them overcome the challenges. This is not a short-term accelerator of 3-4 months as you might be accustomed to. The program here is at least 1 year in length, sometimes even more than 2 years, depending on, it's on a case by case. We do not work in cohorts. Whenever we release a challenge, startups apply, we select one which is most relevant, and then they come here and start working, starting with a demonstration here, a small scale in our beta site, and then growing elsewhere to other parts of the city. We have office space for the startups that we also subsidize the rent for them here for the duration of the program. We connect them to relevant researchers in the Tel Aviv University to support them with the academia. We put them in touch with other cities in Israel and around the world so they can start growing and scaling their business elsewhere. We connect them also to different private sector actors that are usually the ones winning the tenders in local government, so they could be subcontracted by bigger players and grow like that. But most importantly, we connect them to their champions within the Tel Aviv municipality, both in the technology department, but also the actual person whose challenge they came to solve. And throughout a year or so, the city gets an evaluation of, is this technology relevant for our need? And the startup gets constant feedback with a design partner that helps them mature their product and technology and business understanding based on real life feedback from a customer, and then grow to other cities. So this is the package that we offer to our startups. We've been around for 4 years. So far, over 500 applicants and 28 startups got admitted to the program. So it's quite competitive. It's not easy to get admitted. Out of those 28, 2 no longer exist. 3 have become full vendors to the Tel Aviv municipality, so they completed the entire cycle and they're actually getting paid for the services after a successful pilot. 2 exits, and all the rest are at different stages of the evaluation of the technology. So we are managing here multiple POCs throughout the city with different technologies related to almost every aspect of our life. And actually, this is, impact. It's about smart mobility and reduction of our carbon footprint throughout this promotion of walkability with different startups, shading, cooling of the city. We discuss here how to reduce the entry to the city of heavy vehicles and do differently around urban logistics, which is another major concern of the city of Tel Aviv. Basically everything, safety and secure sense of security for women in the public domain. And one of the key things we're now dealing with is also inclusion, equity, and diversity in urban mobility. So how to make urban mobility more accessible to everyone. Every aspect of that, has multiple facets, and different technologies could be related to that. So I welcome all of you to reach out to us, understand how you can collaborate with us, how you can help solve challenges in the Tel Aviv municipality. It's not always coming from the municipality. Sometimes startups come to us, and then we go find out whether or not the city of Tel Aviv needs it and other cities around the world need it. So we are very open to different modes of collaboration. So if you're investors and you have portfolio companies that could enjoy this, send them to us. If you are startups and you want to enjoy all of this, come over to us. I welcome all of you to also enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you find it fruitful, and thank you. Thank you for coming here.
Thank you, Gabby. And thank you again for hosting the entire day. Okay, now we're going to move on to our agenda for today. So soon we're going to hear from the nice startups in the showcase. Afterwards, we're going to enjoy a light lunch in the next room. And afterwards, we're going to hold roundtable sessions between investors, corporates, and the 9 startups. This is an invite-only part, but if you are interested in staying, feel free to reach out to Shachar, Ido, or myself. We're happy to help. Okay, now I would like to welcome Ido Fischler, Managing Partner at Good Company.
Thank you, Ila. Thank you, everyone, for showing up, for taking the time and joining us in this important mission. Before I even start, I'd like to say huge thank you. You have to give a huge round of applause to this lady over here, Ila, that organized today. And today is just the peak event of 3 months activity that we ran, which I'm going to tell you about. And yesterday we had our annual investor gathering of Good Company. So we couldn't have done it without Hila. So really appreciate that. Secondly, thank you Citizone for hosting us. Thank you for our yearly partners, BCLP, KPMG, and Bank Hapoalim for sponsoring all of our activities. And thank you for the mission partners, SAP, Irani Group, Grow Ventures, Schindler, and Schneider Electric, Retech, and that's it. I'm not forgetting anyone. Good. And Evonik, of course, Joseph, that is here. This is probably, you are all familiar with such a photo. This is where everything that you buy and own and use will end up. And this is what it looks like. This is a very kind of like a very small portion of the reality, but this is the reality. And today, in this action day, we say no more. It has to stop. We have to move from a linear economy to circular economy, where in linear economy, We usually take stuff from the earth, materials, we make them, we use them, we dispose them, and they become waste. Today, we have to think differently. We have to think how everything fits into a circle. From the design phase and which raw materials we want to use, to the production phase, to the retail and consumption phase, and how we use and repair materials or goods, how we collect them, how we recycle them, and then how we complete the circle again. And you're going to hear different startups today touching points in this circle with different solutions, and it will be much clearer picture of the interesting stuff that you can do to change. We think, and Good Company invest in people and planet technologies, that technology is a means to an end. We ask founders why you're doing what you're doing and what existential problem you actually solve in the world. If that problem is big enough and you can build a viable business model that will both make the company very, very profitable, and by doing that will enable the company to make massive impact, that's what we're looking for. And technology has the ability to really change our lives for the better. We created the movement, which is a collaboration between investors like us, but not just us, with startups and with corporates in order to help mission-driven startups succeed and scale. We do that by organizing events like this and other ways. And we've been doing that quite extensively in the past 3 years. We've run 7 missions, so 7 topics, different topics, from agriculture to mobility to reaching net zero and H-Tech. Different topics. We collaborated with over 34 corporates until today. We've invested in 5 of our portfolio companies came through these missions or these activities. The corporates initiated 12 pilots with the 840 startups that went through these activities. So thanks to everyone that are participating today and has participated in the past and will participate in the future. Let's talk about today's mission, sustainable production and consumption. The first thing we do when we start a mission is to sit with the partners and ask what are the problems that you're actually looking to solve. And we define 3 main topic areas: sustainable manufacturing, supply chain management and optimization, and circular economy. And you can see the kind of like concrete examples. These topics are what corporates are looking to solve within their own business or by collaborating with external vendors. After we understand what are the problems, we issued a call for application. And with this call for application, we received 120 startups applying. As you can see, from different stages. We had pre-seed and seed companies applying, but also round B and round A companies. And we received applications globally. Most of them were from Israel, but also from North America and EU and other places. So we saw a diverse group of startups from different stages, different technology layers, hardware, software, and a combination of the two. A lot of startups with paying customers, but some still in the MVP or earlier stages. And we've selected 9 companies to present today. It's not necessarily what we think that is best. It's not a competition. It's a showcase of different technologies, different solutions along this circular economy circle. And the pitch that you're going to hear now is just the start of the day, because later after lunch, we're going to meet and they're going to meet us in dedicated sessions. So I invite you to take action today and help us solve this very big problem.
Thank you, Ido. And now we're about to start the showcase, but before, there's more. We prepared a landing page for you to be able to read more information about the startups, the founders, the teams, the technology. So if you go to our page, gcvc.com #SCP finalists, you'll be able to read about the startups. You also can go towards it from the movement page on the site. And then if you want to contact or provide feedback for the founders to be able to read afterwards, we do have a feedback form that you can click and provide, so it's very easy to navigate. So now I want to invite our first founder, Oran Sever, CEO and co-founder of Cubic.
Hi everybody. It's a great pleasure to be here today. My name is Oran. I'm the CEO and co-founder at Cubic. And we actually simplify a broken part inside the supply chain, really building a product aimed for e-commerce company with a new type of DNA. So just in a word, freight forwarding basically is the part in supply chain where you manufacture your goods and then you need to ship them from manufacture in China, for example, to your fulfillment center in the USA, where you're going to sell your goods on Shopify, Amazon, Walmart Online, or any other sales channel e-commerce companies are using. So as an SMB, to deal with this complex domain of freight forwarding, really with no resources and no experience, it's really extremely nuanced and really leads to costly mistakes. So when we founded Cubic, really our mission was to take this fragmented and really complex type of service and turning it into a product that really will give e-commerce company an easy way to handle their freight shipping. Compared to traditional retail, we can see e-commerce company really meeting the supply chain, global supply chain really quickly compared to the traditional retail. So if we map supply chain from the point of view of an e-commerce company, it's pretty clear to see that freight forwarding is the weakest link inside supply chain. So production, manufacturing your goods, managing your inventory in the warehouse and your order management, and distributing your orders to your end customers, really all of those parts in supply chain today have great solutions that integrates into your Amazon, your Shopify, your business tools, and really give you a great way to control and utilize those parts of supply chain. So Cubic, basically, we created a product that finally takes freight forwarding and inlines it in supply chain together with all the other parts. Integrating to your sales channels, integrating to your procurement softwares, and to your fulfillment centers, really creating a streamlined and automated process to finally control freight forwarding. But not only the freight forwarding part, but really moving the data and the information, critical information from production to the warehouse with unbroken process. So just to sum it up, really taking this whole big mess of freight forwarding, packing it all in a simple product that integrates and brings technology really to simplify the process, giving the ability even for a first-timer that just doing his first freight forwarding container moving from China to the US, a simple task compared to how they deal with it today. So that's just in a nutshell about Cubic. Thank you for listening, and I'll be happy to answer any questions later on today.
Thank you, Oran. Now we're gonna head over to Renbies by Anat Lajem.
Hey, all of you. So retail is changing, and we're seeing some major trends and challenges that are affecting it. So one of them, of course, is the fact that the end consumers are cutting back on their spendings due to the high inflation rate. Second is the high return rate. Third, of course, is the customer acquisition cost, which is constantly increasing due to the whole privacy regulations. And the fourth is the emergence of Gen Z shoppers who really prioritize their core values when they make any consumption decisions. Now, the rental model is actually a really great way for them to tackle all of these because it's an affordable model. I mean, renting is much cheaper than purchasing. Also, these brands and retailers can actually rent their return goods instead of just throwing them away. And of course, there's a unique relationship that is built between the end customer and the brand during the whole rental period, which also increases the lifetime value of the end customers. And of course, the sustainable model. So we're seeing retailers that adopted the rental model and that are really winning big across all industries, in DIY, in fashion, in furniture. But the thing is, if you're a retailer or a brand and you want to adopt a rental model, it's not that easy. In fact, it's super hard because it does not only require specific knowledge and expertise, but it also means heavy spending on tech and logistics. And not to mention that their systems are equipped and are capable to support sales transaction and not circular models. And that's where we come in. So we provide a holistic solution for these brands and retailers for them to adopt a rental model on their existing e-commerce platforms. And it's not only that, we also support the whole logistics side. So we actually connecting them with 3PLs across the US that are experts in rental supply chain and refurbishments. We're actually the only solution out there that enables brands to both rent and resell products directly on their e-commerce channels. Now, as you can see, there are a lot of categories and industries that are relevant for the rental model, but we're actually starting with baby gear. And why baby gear? Because there's a huge opportunity there for the end consumers, for parents, the huge demand for rented baby gear is there. And we're seeing a lot of growth also in B2C rental platforms. So our business model is we take a fee out of each rental transaction, but we also try to look at it in the bigger picture and really making the whole unit economics make sense. So next month, we have a planned launch with one of the dominant fashion retailers here in Israel. And in the next quarter, we also have a planned launch with one of the biggest baby gear brands in the US. And we're going to support them by strategic partnerships with the best 3PLs in the US. So this is how we do it. We plug in into their brand's existing e-commerce platforms, if it's Shopify, Magento, Salesforce. So their end consumers will be able to both buy and rent in the same product page and in the single checkout. We also provide some really interesting analytics that are completely different than analytics that they get from their traditional sales. So this is us, and you can see our experience on LinkedIn, but the most important thing here is that we all share the same passion of really bringing the rental model to each and every household in the world. And these are the people that help us do it, really market leaders in the retail industry globally. Hope you guys will be involved also in our mission. And yeah, looking forward to speaking with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Anat. And really made me think how many products I have at home that I could have rented instead of buying. So thank you for that. Now we have Selectica by Tali Betzalel.
Hi everyone, good morning. Thank you for inviting me. I'm Tali, co-founder and CEO of Selectica. So before I start, I will tell you that I started this company after more than 10 years experience in e-commerce, working closely with online retailers and then shoppers. And through this journey, I realized that there is a real gap in the market, a real need for a specific solution for the fashion. While most of the solution for recommendation or personalization are generalized, they do the same recommendation for when you shop for electronic or grocery. We see that that fashion has specific needs in terms of the fabric and the sizing and the fit. So we built Selectica, the first AI platform that is specifically designed for fashion, powered by image recognition and deep learning. So what we really do, how it's really work. So we basically built a neural network that knows to scan, analyze, and extract deep product attribute from the photo. We have millions of data points and around 40 meta tags that we automatically generate from the item, like the neckline, the sleeve shape, fabric pattern, and more. And why it's important? This product metadata enable us to make much better personal experience in the e-commerce, but not only this, it can also enable us to reduce the return and the waste in the industry. But first, we will start about the personalization and the shopping journey. Here we can see that we just brought the selection of what the shoppers really want. Since we have deep analysis of each of the items. And here, this is a product that we're super excited. We recently launched it with Story after more than 1 year development. That it's basically replaced a human stylist that enable you to have complementary outfit. It has our computer vision analysis, but also an algorithm that know to match the right style, fabric, colors, and occasion. Also, our shop to look just enable you to click on the photo and go to specific product page. But our company mission is not only to help retailers to sell more. We also want to help shoppers to shop right, reduce the return and the waste in the industry. And how are we going to do this? We recently launched our solution for fit and analysis. Again, this product, we are super proud about this. We work about this around 2 years, and it's live in hoodies and pilot with 4 new brands. We enable shoppers to get recommendations for specific size, for specific item, not for specific brand, like most of the solution do. Of course, we can see that we can increase the confidence of the sale around 10%. This is super high for home uniform e-commerce, but we also see that we reduce the return between 5 to 30%. And how are we going to reduce the waste in the industry? As Ido showed before, fashion is the most pollution industry in the whole world, with $500 billion textile that go to waste, and 30% of items that been manufacturing going to landfill still new with a ticket. So here we will, this product is still under development, but the idea is to give the brands insight and data even before they're doing the manufacturing process, to tell them what the shoppers really want, or specific audience, even before they manufacture the clothes. And even if we can reduce the return by 1 to 2% is huge. Few words about the company. We started 2 years ago. First customer 1.5 years ago. Today we have already 14 customers, mainly in Israel, but we are in the process with a few big clients in the UK and the US. This is about the shoppers case study. And about the team, my co-founder is Micha. He's, I think, like the best person to build it, since he also a software engineer with computer vision background, but he also was a founder of a fashion brand. And Nofar, our styling expert, that have a huge experience working with many designers all around the world. We're super proud of our advisory. Recently joined us Ian Grabiner, a former CEO for Arcadia. Arcadia is the owner of ShopTop, Selfridges, Debenham, Nautica Home, and John from H&M. Yeah, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Tali. And now I know where to shop clothes online. Okay, our next pitch is actually from Hong Kong. They're a Hong Kong-based company. And because they weren't able to come here in person, they sent a recorded pitch. So while I bring up the pitch, you have a moment to go online to our website and visit the page of the companies we're pitching today and provide your feedback.
Hi, I'm Sonali Figueres. I'm the co-founder and CEO of SourceGreen. We're a climate tech SaaS for brands to quit plastic. The plastic waste crisis is a massive issue that is just going to get worse. Plastic recycling isn't working. As of today, after decades of plastic recycling efforts, we've only ever recycled 10% of all plastic on Earth. The reality about plastic is coming out. Microplastics, toxins, the plastic waste generated by individual countries that is polluting our environment. Consumers want better, especially millennials and Gen Z consumers are concerned about plastic. They're concerned about companies with better ESG track records, and they want solutions to end the plastic waste crisis. There's also a huge wave of government regulations that is happening, especially in Europe, but it's also starting in the US and across Asia. We've got single-use plastic bans, we've got extended producer responsibility policies, and we've got anti-greenwashing laws, which are all making it more and more difficult to keep plastic in supply chains. Currently, plastic is an unmanaged business risk for companies. And the reality is that businesses want to green their supply chains and they want to quit plastic, but they need solution-based tools. Enter SourceGreen, plastic reduction software for business. We help companies audit and evaluate plastic supply chain costs. We help companies explore and compare next-gen alternative materials. We help companies visualize climate data across the design process. We help companies create reduction plans and monitor their progress. And finally, we help companies order custom plastic-free packaging solutions. Unlike our competitors, we are a truly sustainable packaging solution. There are no forever plastics, there are no fossil fuels, there are no toxins, and finally, there's never any greenwashing. Currently, the global green packaging market is a pretty big one. It's $290 billion, but we believe that in a very short amount of time, the entire packaging market will be our market, because eventually all consumers will want green packaging and all businesses will have to comply. With regulatory leverage, that could become a reality much faster. Currently, we make money with a SaaS subscription model. Depending on the company's size and their needs, we have different pricing. We also have a bespoke option that allows companies to work with us in a custom method. So far, since we've started the company, we've raised an angel round. We've launched a self-service sustainable packaging marketplace where we tested the market in terms of what were the best alternative material suppliers and what were the most popular products, so we could figure out what to focus on first. We have developed a prototype for our plastic audit SaaS tool, and we've had some big wins with clients. We've done plastic-free material sourcing innovation with P&G. We've worked with Richemont to remove plastic from their logistics supply chain across 13 Asian markets. And we've done projects like with startup Rooted Living, a granola company whose entire brand mission is based on their plastic-free packaging that we co-developed with them. We've also been accepted into accelerators and incubators. The most recent one was Plug and Play in Silicon Valley, where we pitched live in San Francisco in March. And we will pitch again because we were selected again to proceed through the next round. I'm Sonali Figueres. I have a long time expertise and presence in the green industry across the world. I'm known as the Green Queen of Asia, and I'm also the founder of organic trade marketplace Eco Warehouse and Impact Media Green Queen. Luc Devalliere is my CEO. He's an expert sales, market research, and financial analysis talent, and he is one of the most knowledgeable persons in the world about anything to do with plastic-free materials and sourcing. Together, along with expert advisors, including Dr. Ramani Narayan, who invented bioplastics, Dr. Carmen Messerlian, who is a professor of public health at Harvard, and plastic legislation experts around the world, we are changing the way brands deal with plastic. Thank you so much for listening. SourceScreen, the climate tax SaaS to help brands quit plastic.
So this was Sonali. Again, they're based in Hong Kong, but the team is very international, I think, from France and the UK. Because they're not here in person, you are welcome to let us know if you want an intro to them. We would be happy to facilitate that. So now coming up, we have Manufuture, Ben Halperin.
Hey everyone, nice to meet you. I'm Ben, CEO and co-founder of Manufuture, the one-stop solution for mechanical procurement. First of all, and probably the most important thing, the people behind Manufuture. You can see Ofer and Or, my co-founders. You will meet them later on. Afsha, Gabi in the advisory board, on Amir and Ophir. First thing is the problem in procurement in the mechanical world, which means the procurement today still is manual. People send email, faxes, phone calls to reach to suppliers. The ecosystem is fragmented, and production itself is something that is very complex. So what is the solution?
Products you create are the building blocks of the future, but your custom procurement flow is a product of the past. Get high-quality parts to your doorstep, exactly to your specifications. Manufuture is the only end-to-end transparent marketplace for mechanical custom parts, supercharging your procurement process as you scale up production. Get direct access to a world of verified vendors, all covered by our guarantees for delivery time, quality, and price. Just upload your project production files. We'll automatically extract every detail and share it with your team. Our match and bid algorithm sends the right parts to the right manufacturers, so you get competitive quotes down to the smallest part. And unlike anywhere else, it's up to you to select the winning quote. Manage your project, track progress, and chat with your vendors, all in one place. From prototype to production, streamline the way your company orders custom parts of any kind, all the way to your doorstep. Manufuture. Get the job done.
So what you just saw is the right side, what we call a super supplier, which means we are using an anonymous bidding mechanism that helps companies reaching out a global suppliers network, which all suppliers are vetted by us. But the next phase for us as a company is to bring also the option to be a super sourcing. And how we plan to do it? By giving an encrypted solution for the customers to manage their own suppliers. And even we as a company won't see any of the data they're doing, the transaction, the parts, and so on. The market is huge, okay? It's a blue ocean, definitely, but the competition is partial and limited, which means there are companies that are super suppliers, like you can see Fictive Xometry, Protolabs, and so on. But these companies are not showing any of the suppliers, so it's very limited for companies that, for hardware companies, sorry. SAP, NetSuite from Oracle, which are ERP companies, CRM, sorry. And what they do, they give an option to do sourcing between the supplier, but they are not very smart solution. And startups like Giga, as you can see, they're doing kind of super sourcing, but they don't have the ability to reach out to a global network of suppliers. This is a bit about our traction. We founded the company in February 21, started operation in June in the same year, and we're continuing to grow at about 100% from half to half. We have until now 65 paying customers and returning customers. As you can see, Trigo, SolarEdge, IAI, Israeli Ministry of Defense, IDF, and many others. a short case study just to show the behavior of the customer inside Manufacture, which means once they upload a project and issue an order, they get trust on the service, and they are ordering more and more, and the value of the order itself is higher. And that's it. Waiting to talk with you after with Ofer and Or, my co-founders.
Thank you, Ben. And now we also have another company joining us from abroad with a recorded pitch. So this is Tulu. And while I'm bringing it up, I will just share that Tulu is actually part of our portfolio. And we're very proud of their accomplishment. So far, they're already post round A. And yeah, just a second.
Hi, I'm Ishai, co-founder and the CEO of Tulu, joining remotely to this great event from our headquarters here in New York. An architect by profession, and after being a somehow depressed architect for a few years, I went to an accelerator at MIT where I met Yael, my co-founder. Yael is coming from environmental entrepreneurship background, and I think that Yael's alternative approach to consumerism and my thoughts about the built environment have melted into what eventually Tulu would become. And I believe that the best way to capture the essence of Tulu is that we're part of a fundamental shift in consumption paradigms that are moving from an equation of I want something, therefore I buy it, into an equation of I need something, therefore I use it. Now, this change is happening regardless of Tulu. We're not big enough yet. And probably the most banal example would be transportation. People used to own cars because ownership itself had value. How I think about myself as a car owner, how the society perceives me as a car owner. And today, Gen Zs, millennials, they don't really think that way. Car is a mean to take us from point A to point B. And as long as we can get it in an affordable and convenient solution, then the ownership just becomes a constraint. And in Tulu, we are accelerating this already existing mindset and are saying that everything in our daily lives can become service. I need to clean, I have a vacuum cleaner. I need to host, I have a projector. I need to jump to the supermarket, I have an e-scooter. But for this to really succeed, it has to be extremely convenient. I need something now, I have it now. What we understood that in order to create this immediate on-demand access, we need to eliminate the distance between the products and the end users and provide the products in what we're calling the last foot solution, which is right where people live, where they work, where they play, which are buildings. So in that sense, buildings are instrumental to who we are, but this is what we do. This is our go-to-market strategy. Because A, we couldn't find anything more convenient than just taking the elevator, go downstairs, take the item, use it, and return it. B, because we have this centralized demand and captured audience in this container, which is the building, the cost of acquisition of the end user just becomes much more efficient. C, the landlords are willing to pay to provide Tulu as an amenity for the residents, so they're helping us to finance our business. And D, the data that we collect about how people really use products is as almost as if they had the product in their home, because the building is an extension of our apartments. And this data is feeding the Tulu platform, and this is who we are, that connects between today's needs-driven consumers and manufacturers and brands that understand that if they won't adjust to this new reality of the usage economy, they would become the next blockbuster. So we're featuring products of companies like Bosch and Hoover and Dremel and Kärcher on the Tulu platform. Also working with huge real estate companies such as Greystar and Brookfield and Invesco. Currently operating in 22 cities around the US and Europe, and are keeping on expanding rapidly. So thank you again for having us in this great event, and thank you, Good Company, for being such a great and good companion along the Tulu journey. Thanks.
Okay, so Tulu was a great example for consumer behavior, and now we're going to move on actually to new materials. So presenting algaing is Inon.
Thank you, everyone. Do you hear me? Yeah, okay. Actually, I'm stepping in instead of our CEO, and now is a little bit sick. So I hope you will accept me as well. So I'm the algae bioscience lead of Alging. We are a company that came to change the textile industry and to bring more sustainable and healthy and cost-effective products. And yeah, so welcome to the textile and fashion industry. This industry is making $1.7 trillion in annual sales, and it's just getting bigger and bigger. Like Tali said before, this industry is very, very polluting industry. These are the last year's colors. They are in the river in Eastern Asia, and these are the residues of the textile factories. And as we said, it's the number 2 only after oil industry. It's a really, really polluting industry. 20% of the global fresh water are polluted by this industry, and 10% of the chemical used in this industry to our clothes are transmitting into our skin and bodies. So we want to allow everybody in this industry to join in, and there's no privilege to not take the good side of the agenda. And companies that will not do this change, they will be out of the game. We are coming from the industry, and we know this change is coming from 3 main reasons. The millennials and Gen Z, they are demanding sustainable, healthier, meaningful products, and they are becoming the most powerful purchasing power. And number 2 is that companies are willing to accept nowadays greener internal policies. They understand that this change has to be a real change and not just greenwash. And number 3 is regulations. Even though it takes time, we see the change in legislation in England and in France and the goals of the EU. Algae are the number 1 most influential microorganism of the 21st century. We saw what it did to the food market, to the food industry with health properties and with different colors. The same with the cosmetic industry. This creature is super sustainable. It is environmentally eco-positive, and it's 100% biodegradable. So with that, I would like you to meet us, Alging. We were founded in 2016 with a vision to be a true engine for changing the textile industry. We've created an algae-based revolutionary award-winning formulation, and we are using this formulation in 3 different platforms. We actually allow our customers to have our formulation in prints, textiles, in dyes, and also making fibers. And in addition, we are leveraging the algae beneficial properties. So no more heavy metals and toxin in the textile industry. We are dyeing and printing with carotenoids, proteins, vitamins, all the good things that algae has to offer instead of the toxic chemicals that are now today. And with that, I would like to welcome you to talk to us and detoxify the textile industry together with us. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Inon. And now I would like to welcome Knaf Ventures, Ido Hershkovitz.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Idor Ershkovitz. I'm the CEO and co-founder at Kenaf Ventures. With me is Avishai Murag, the CTO and co-founder. Using solar energy, water, and CO2, we create plastics, blocks, plaster, and insulation material. We start with the Kenaf. The Kenaf plant is we grow it, we process it, and through our IP, experience, and know-how, we create the blocks, the plaster, and the insulation material. Kenaf is a 4,000-year-old plant. It came from Africa 4,000 years ago, and it has very unique properties. It is lightweight, it's very strong, it has very good thermal and acoustic insulation. Kenaf is the most CO2 absorbing plant known. When you join us at Kenaf Ventures, you can get a lot of carbon benefits. First, just by growing the Kenaf, which is, as I said, the most CO2 absorbing plant known, you take massive amounts of CO2 out of the atmosphere. Just a number, 1 acre of Kenaf can take out 9 tons of CO2. Second, we remove polluting materials. By using our materials, we take out plastic, we take out cements and other aggregates, and we make sure that it doesn't return to the atmosphere by storing it in applications that last a very long time. And finally, our model provides localized supply chain. We do not need to ship the materials around the world. We do it locally, again, doing good for the environment. We have products in the bioconstruction, bioplastic, biofoam, and bioinsulation. These products consist of 20 to 95% Kenaf within the product. And it is very good in terms of the properties. Due to the Kenaf properties, our products are lighter, are stronger, give very good thermal and acoustic insulation. And the idea around our product that it needs to be examined through a plug-and-play vision, meaning it has to be at least as good as the product it replaces in terms of properties. It needs to be integrated into the existing machinery and methods. Our customers do not need to change anything in the way they are doing manufacturing or using it today. And the third is that it is at competitive price. You don't need to pay any more for this. In our first small round of $775,000, we've produced our applications from seed and produced a couple of more new applications in development yet. We've founded a workshop, a processing workshop in Israel, in Kfar Aza. We've grown more than 100 tons of biomass. We've made a joint effort with Kafrit Group in the area of bioplastic. And we've registered our IP in the construction market. We are now opening a new investment round of $5 million, which we are going to designate to build a factory, a processing factory. We're going to grow hundreds more tons of biomass, create more sales and collaboration, and push forward our development. Thank you for your attention. We're looking forward to meeting you in the sessions, and we have a couple of surprises to share with you.
Thank you, Ido. And now we're going to move on to our last presenter in the showcase, Omer Blayer from Castor.
Hi, everyone. I'm Omer. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Castor, the BOM optimization software. A bit about myself. I'm a mechanical engineer by education. I also hold an MBA in entrepreneurship and innovations, both from Tel Aviv University. I used to work for a big company in the 3D printing arena called Stratasys, and I co-founded together with Elad in 2017 Castor. We know each other for 20 years, served together in the Israeli Air Force. So I'll start with customers. These are all paying customers of Castor. Some of them are Fortune 500 companies like Lockheed Martin and John Deere. Some of them are partners of us that takes us to the market, like Siemens and Evonik. And what's common to all of them is that they're all looking for a new way to create mechanical components in hardware products they have to gain a competitive advantage. Either they have a huge supply chain problem, usually around spare parts. It's very expensive these days to send a spare part from Brazil to South Africa. Either they're being measured on shelf place reduction, shipment reduction, sustainability concerns, but eventually it all comes to cost reduction, finding a new, cheaper way to create a part with the same performance. And this is where we're coming into the picture. We're offering them, sorry, that's the second time it happens to me. We're offering them an automatic bill of material optimization software, which is basically an automatic way to identify cost reduction opportunities using the benefits of industrial 3D printing, additive manufacturing. And because of that, it's also a very good tool to identify carbon emission reduction opportunities by finding alternative solutions to production methods with the goal to overcome a supply chain problem around low volume, high mix parts. So think of Castor as a screening tool where you can upload CAD files, CAD, computer-aided design files, and 2D drawings, and we analyze them in large scale. We can analyze the whole dashboard of a car, or the whole inventory list of spare parts, or the whole sub-assembly of a machine that a manufacturer wants to produce. And within seconds, we give a quick assessment whether there are parts that make sense to use a different production method, specifically additive manufacturing, technically and economically. By saying that, we're also changing the design of the parts to utilize the benefits of those new production methods. For example, we have a patent on parts consolidation, to combine multiple parts into one, or to do weight reduction, to reduce weight from parts, from the inner side of the parts in case they're bulky. And we're very good in identifying carbon emission reduction. This is the grant we've just received by the Bird Foundation to further develop that with Siemens in USA, $1.1 million grant, just to identify parts that make sense to use additive manufacturing from a carbon emission perspective. Few examples. Here's a nice example of how is a combined part, those three adjacent parts as a combined part save the company $65,000 a year, about $400 per such a combination of parts. 14 screws used to be here, 20 minutes of work. That's a lot of labor being saved. And it's a part of a huge machine, 30 meter long, 4 meter high, that we've identified that automatically. And here's another example from Siemens of why they chose to collaborate with us on parts that either by the energy being saved in the production itself, or either by the transportation impact of manufacturing a part 3 kilometers from where you actually need them, they are considered to be a part that is a good opportunity for carbon emission reduction. If you'd like to hear more, we're now in our funding round, so we'll be here in the round tables. I'm Omer, thanks.
Thank you, Omer, and thank you again for all of the founders who presented. I'm sure it's a bit tough to do a pitch in 4.5 or 5 minutes, because some of you extended your time. So thank you again. And thank you again, everyone who came here today to Ramat HaChayal or Kiryat Atidim. And I hope you enjoyed the showcase. You're welcome to talk to the teams afterwards. They have orange lanyards, so that's how you can identify them. And now we're gonna go for lunch. Thank you.